Sadly enough, it must be the day before yesterday. I met up with this lady. Together with her husband, but I met them in a place where I wouldn't expect to meet them. You know, they're from our community, but I met them in town, in the park, in the park. And so the lady began to tell me about how she had been so sick that she needed to be hospitalized. And do you know what she told me? She told me she had both of her jabs. She was fully vaccinated, but she got sick with COVID to a point of being hospitalized. Which is a thing that you never hear in mainstream media.
Yes.
Which is a thing you never hear in mainstream media. Nobody will ever talk about it. But this person had a double jab, fully vaccinated, but getting terribly sick to a point that she had to spend more than $500 US in order for her to to regain her health. But yet the narrative is, if you get a jab, you're not going to get sick. Which are nothing but just lies from the pit of hell. It's only God who has the capacity and the ability to heal us of all these things.
Amen.
It's only but God. It's only but God.
Amen.
I'm not saying people shouldn't get vaccinated. If you want to be vaccinated, that's fine. But let it not be something you do thinking that it's going to save your life.
No. Yes.
You know, because like what I said last week I said that, you know, people may be building a Tower of Babel without even knowing that's what they're doing.
Yes.
Remember when they started building the Tower of Babel, the main objective was to save their lives.
Amen.
You know, they weren't looking to God for salvation. They were looking to themselves for salvation. And they said, if the flood is to come again, we will be up in this tower and we will not perish as a result of a flood. They were trying to protect themselves. And sad enough, the way they speak about this jab to me sounds like the Tower of Babel,
Yes.
where man is trying to save himself. But it's not possible. No wonder why you realize that, you know, the sad thing is here in Africa, we don't do studies. We don't study any of these things. We just give you a jab and we tell you to go home. We don't do follow-ups. We don't come to your house. We don't collect data to say, oh, okay, so after the jab, what is it that happened to you? You know, what were your how did it react with you?
Yes.
You know what I mean? We don't do any research on the people that we vaccinate. The only thing that we do is we celebrate that we have vaccinated. Oh, we've vaccinated 1 million people, and that's what we celebrate. But the question is, are you doing due diligence? You know, are you diligent enough to follow up on the people and see how are they doing after having been vaccinated? So in England is quite diligent. They'll follow up on their people and they'll give statistics to say this is what has happened after which people have been vaccinated. You know, and just recently, I think yesterday, you know, they were talking about how people that are vaccinated are just as at same risk as the people that are unvaccinated. Like vaccinated people are just getting as equally sick as unvaccinated people.
In fact, worse.
You know, they're all getting sick as well.
Amen.
You know, and then after telling you this, guess what they will say? They will say, we are not saying the vaccine is ineffective. Why do you have to accompany your statement with those words? In a way, you are telling me that it is ineffective. You understand?
And what
Like.